Okay, so everybody open up your booklets to exterior angle theorem. An interior angle is an angle on the inside of a polygon. So interior angles are formed by two adjacent sides of a polygon. So all of these right here are interior angles because they're on the inside of the triangle. An exterior angle is an angle on the outside of a polygon. So right here, you see how this line keeps going and creates this angle? So if our lines were to keep going, they would create these exterior angles. So if we look at our example down here, angle number 1 is an interior angle because it's on the inside of the triangle. Angle number 4 is an exterior angle. Together, numbers 1 and 4 form a vocabulary word that we learned yesterday. It's a supplementary angle. So, using the triangle sum theorem, which basically is just saying that all of the angles of a triangle equal 180 degrees. But there's also another note that I want y'all to make. The measure of angle, that's what that means, measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 4. I want you to circle that, highlight it, make it so that you see that, both of these statements, because that's kind of what we're focusing on. All right. So let's look at the bottom questions. We're going to do a couple practice problems together, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. Number 1, we're looking at the measure of angle 1 and 2. So we're looking at this and this. So measure of angle 1 is going to be this angle. Here, let me change colors. This angle plus this angle minus 180, because I know that angles 72 degrees and 45 degrees are going to equal 180 degrees because that's how the triangle sum theorem works. So 180 minus 45 minus 72. So the measure of angle 1 is 63 degrees. Now if we have the measure of angle 2, there's 2 ways we can find this. The first one is we know that angle 1 and 2 are supplementary. So we know that 180 minus 63 is going to give us our answer. But we also know, because of the exterior angle theorem, that this one and this one, 45 and 72, if we add them together, we're also going to get the measure of angle 2. So if you subtract those, you get 117 degrees. But if you add these, you also get 117 degrees. So you can do it either way. Personally, I prefer to add because less mistakes are made when I'm adding than when I'm subtracting. So that's 117 degrees. Now let's move on to number 2. Number 2, first we're trying to find the measure of angle 1. Well, these 2 signs right here mean that those are congruent. So the measure of angle 1 is also going to be 16 degrees. So now let's find measure of angle 2. So to find the measure of angle 2, we're going to kind of do the way we did number 1 on the previous problem, where we did 180 minus 16 minus 16, and we end up getting 148. We can do that because all of the angles of a triangle are going to add up to 180 degrees. Now if we're finding the measure of angle 3, we know that it's either going to be 180 minus 148, because that's the measure angle too. Or it's going to be 16 plus 16. Which one would you rather do? Personally, I'd rather add 16 because I can do that even in my head. But either way, I'm going to get the same answer. So this is 32 degrees. All right, so let's go to the next problems. And I want y'all real quick to look at number 5. It says x squared. Go ahead and cross out that little squared part because we're not going to deal with x squared. We're only going to deal with x's. I want us to do number 4 together, and then numbers 3 and 5, you can check your answers after. So let's do number 4 together first. So number 4, the first thing that we want to do is find the value of x. So we know that this angle plus this angle is going to equal 115. So 5x plus 9 plus 10x plus 1 equals 115. So essentially we have 15x plus 10 equals 115 because we combine like terms. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. So we get 15x equals 105. Divide by 15, x equals 7. So over here, we're going to write x equals 7. The next thing that we're going to do is find angle M. So we know that angle M is 5x plus 9. We know that x is 7. So we're going to do 5 times 7 plus 9, which gives us 44. And then for angle N, we're going to do 10x plus 1. So 10 times 7 plus 1, which is 71. And then for MAN, MAN is going to be this angle right here. So MAN, we can either do 180 minus 71 minus 44, or we can do 180 minus 115, and we end up getting 65 degrees. We can check our answer by adding MN and MAN to make sure that our answer adds up to 180 degrees. I want you to do numbers 3 and 5 on your own. I want you to pause the video right now. I'm going to write the answers, but I'm not showing my work. So when you come to check with me, you need to make sure that you show your work or it's not going to count. So these are the answers for numbers 3 and 5. Make sure you showed your work before you come check with me.